Hello again. So from here on in, it won't necessarily be chronological, but once I have all of the videos up in the playlist, I'll see if I can rejig things, move them around so that the playlist appears in a chronological order. The first major Y-DNA clade I want to talk about is I, which is my own. I belong to I2, A2, A3, L801, which is one of the three Proto-Germanic clades of I2, A2A. You see in the map here, I've marked all of the migrations. It looked less cluttered before I added the dates, but I think the dates are useful for you to have an idea of what I'm talking about. So IJ appears in the Levant, around 50,000, 45,000 probably. And then J and I diverge around 40,000 by 40,000, depending on the reports, but the source I'm using, by 40,000, I has already appeared in Europe, in the Balkan region, because we crossed from Anatolia, we crossed from the Levant. So I asterisk appears here, and I asterisk is the ancestor of all I populations now, so everyone who carries I1 or I2. That appears around 40,000 years, and then some of the ancestors, the ancestors stay in the Balkans, they become I2, some of them travel up into Northern Europe. It's debated whether the Elbe River Basin or Denmark is the homeland, but I've marked I1. They're in a position up the lower Elbe River Basin. So it's right in the middle of the areas that are contested for their homeland. So I1 emerges around 30,000 years in the north of Europe. It travels up into Scandinavia. It has deep-rooted clades in Finland that aren't Proto-Germanic, they're Proto-European, they're earlier than the foundation of Germanic culture. And it also has many Germanic clades. I1 is much more readily dispersed in Europe than is shown on this map, but that's because I1 and I2, A2A were both spread around Europe by the Germanics in the Germanic expansions. So most of the I1 and I2, A2A in the rest of Europe is Germanic in origin, even though I1 was already present in the north of Europe and I2, A2A was already predominant in the whole of Northern Europe. So then we have I2, I2A appearing. I2, I2A appears somewhere in the region between the Balkans and the continental Northern Europe. It spread all the way to Russia, where the Aryans later invaded, the Indo-Europeans, and it was picked up there by them, and it spread all the way into northern Sweden. It has a refugium in northern Sweden now. Whether it was spread to Sweden by the Indo-Europeans after they picked it up in the east, or whether it was already in Scandinavia alongside I1, is a question which I can maybe cover at a later point if someone's particularly interested. I would advise all of you to, all of the males, to get a Y-DNA test, test your Y-DNA, find out which particular fraternity you belong to, because it's very interesting. It places you exactly in the story of human migration. It shows you the part that your fathers' fathers have played since the beginning of time. Right. So, yep, you can see I2, A2A and I2A1 have both emerged by 18,000 years ago. I2A1 is the main paternity in much of the Balkans. It's hugely predominant in Serbia, and it's present in all peoples of the Balkans. I2A2A was the major paternity of Northern Europe. It's now quite minor. It's highest in Germany and England. It's also very high in northern Sweden. There's another clade that split off much more recently, because there are 4 branches of I2A2A, and the first one split when Doggerland was buried under the sea. So Doggerland was a piece of land that existed between the Netherlands and Britain during the Ice Age, but as the ice melted and the seas rose, the I2A2A1 Mesolithic British were cut off from the ancestors of the other three clades of I2A2A. So that's why I've put that in there as an extra little bit of info. I2 not only spread in the I2A2A form to the whole of Northern Europe, but it became dominant all through Western Europe in the more primitive form of I2. But that barely survived. I'm not sure even. I don't think that's even at 1%. Most of the I2 in Iberia today is I2A2A through Visigothic and Swabi interactions. Yep, so that is That's my haplogroups are especially interesting to me. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I'll get to your haplogroup soon if I haven't got to it yet. Thanks again. Bye.